If you're a heating and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, why do you need to hang out with people better than you with their skills, their talents, and their capabilities? And what's a hidden danger? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell, coming to you live from Austin, Texas, on a perfect day to talk about sales and business and a fantastic day to talk about you. Okay, so there is all sorts of sayings that like you are the average of your 5 closest friends when it comes to income, when it comes to weight, when it comes to prosperity. And so one of the things that you find is sometimes the people that you get around can intimidate you and you're like, you know what, I really don't want to be around that person because I'm not doing things as high level as them. I'm not doing things as big as them. And so what happens is you pull back and you say, hey, I only want to associate with people in my comfort zone. So there's a couple of things that we run into, and the first is comparison, right? We are comparison devices. We look and we're like, that wall is taller than that wall. This baseboard is skinnier than that baseboard. And it's really easy to compare. So the thing that you have to do, just like the thing that I have to do, is to remove the comparison and say, hey, look, I'm in the presence, especially when people are better at you, I'm in the presence of people who are really good at what they do. And this is what I aspire to be. I know that as of today, I'm not there. So a couple of my coaches and a couple of my personal mentors are doing very well, right? Private jet well. And I don't have a private jet. And a couple of years ago, I got into this trap where it's like, man, I go to these events and these guys are doing it big. We're talking private jets and $10,000 bottles of wine. And I started feeling bad about myself, like, hey. And then I started pulling back. I don't want to go to the events. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to admit that I'm not doing as well as they are, right? And then I had a coach pull me aside and go, hey, Scott, like, look, here's the thing. Aspire to be them, right? You're not comparing yourself and saying, hey, on the timetable, I'm not here and they're there. This is what I aspire to be, and these are the people that I like to associate with. And I find that that's very uplifting and very elevating. And so, you do want to be around better salespeople. You do want to be around better entrepreneurs. You do want to be around better coaches because then you're like, there's a clue. I could do it this way, but I could also do it this way. And this way is a little bit more elevated, or this way is way more elevated, right? And this right here is why you should join my email publication. I'll give you the goods. Not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, okay? Right here. So here's what happens. It's really easy to want to stick in the same circle. It's really easy to want to stay at the status quo. When you hang around people who are better than you are, it allows you to say, hey, look, I could elevate. If they could do it, I could do it, right? There's a rock at Waimea Bay that everybody goes to jump off of. And this is how it plays out every single day. You can jump off that rock. You could go watch this and you could time it. Somebody comes from the mainland, they go to the edge of the rock, they stand, they look over the edge, the 25 feet down to the water, they stand, look over the edge, the 25 feet down the water, they look for like minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then a local comes by and looks to the bottom of the edge, does a double backflip, goes right into the water, like, come on, bro, jump in, right? So when you're around people who are better than you, it's the equivalent of somebody just walking to the edge and jumping in and saying, look, I've been here before, I can do it, and you can do it too. Now, when it comes to closers, you can hang out with people that are better than you, and you could say, hey, look, I was in a sales call, and I'm kind of curious, what would you do in this situation? I was in a sales process. What would you have done differently? I was having a conversation, and I got stuck at this point. What would you do? And they're, yeah, that's super easy. Here's what happens when somebody says this. One of the possibilities is you could do that. And without hanging out with the right people, you're trying to learn these things on your own. Without being around the right associates, you're trying to reinvent the wheel. It's a faster process to hang out with the people and go, now I see how you do it. And one of the coolest things that you could do is just like, hey, is it possible for me to do a ride along? Like for salespeople, I see this a lot. One of the easiest things that you could do is like, hey, would it be all right if I just came and rode with you for a day? And some people will charge you for it, but like it's the faster path for you to learn. It's one of those ways where you could just say, hey, I see what you're doing. This is fantastic. This is super easy. I can do it too. If you can do it, I can do it. That's the mindset to adopt. If you can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And so here is the thing though, the thing that nobody tells you is if somebody pulls you under their wing, then you have the responsibility to do that for the generation or the people behind you, okay? So like if somebody comes in and they're like, hey, I'm struggling, you got to remember, I've been there. Hold on, let me help you out. Come with me, come role play with me. Hey, come ride with me. And so like you'll find that some of the most successful people are the most gracious about this. So they're like, hey, I understand where you're coming from. I see the struggles that you're in. Come work with me. Oh, I see what's going on. Come ride with me. And sometimes you got to pay for that. right? Occasionally someone's gonna be like, I'll give you the goods, but it's gonna cost you a little bit because it cost me. All right, I get that. But if it's all about that money to keep score, that's where it starts getting funky, okay? So be aware. Be aware. Like, I put stuff up on YouTube and other social medias all the time, and I don't charge for it, right? Like, this is sometimes my way of pulling people under my wing and going, hey, get over here. You're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna work out. No struggles, no harm, no foul. Jump in, right? And you can do the same thing, right? You can have somebody jump in your car. You can have somebody do a side-by-side if you're sitting in a cubicle. You can go offer to work with somebody. Somebody can come offer to work with you. But here's the thing. Nobody really in this day and age is self-made. It usually comes from somebody else, and they usually got help. The fastest thing for you to do is to associate with people who are better than you and get past the ego and start asking a ton of questions, take lots of notes, and then implement. You got one of three things to do from here, just one of three. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.